Hello there everybody, it is me XFreezerBunny, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed building video. Okay guys, today we're speed building a venue called the Steamboat Nightclub, obviously because it is inspired by a steamboat. It's located in Magnolia Promenade, and as you guys can see, it is built on a lot that actually overlooks the actual steamboat. So basically the story for this venue is that steamboats were an icon of the progress of Magnolia Promenade during its heydays a couple of centuries ago, but eventually as transportation improved, the steamboats became decommissioned, and most of them were converted into scrap. However, this one, because of the historical significance of steamboats, this one was preserved and converted into a nightclub. So that's basically like the premise that I kind of wanted to have, and backstory that I wanted to have for this venue. But anyway, this was a really fun build. I've seen a bunch of people do boat builds in the game, but I haven't seen anyone do a steamboat specifically, so that's that. Also, yes, this is actually a boat. Can you guys believe it? It looks a lot like steamboats in The Sims 3. The fact that it's kind of on a platform and it has like a lot of geometric shapes to it. I kind of wanted to include a lot of curves and stuff, but they weren't working out. It was really difficult to combine the curvy elements that are only usable in fences and also just the functional elements as well. It's whatever. Anyway, those were really fun builds. Once again, I really wanted to do something different this time and give you guys something that you guys have never seen before, because I don't know, I just like pushing myself to be creative in a way that's out of the box, you know. I don't like to build the same exact thing twice, especially in a row. So last week I built a train station for you guys, and for some reason I'm still inspired by that transportation aspect. So this time I'm building a boat venue for you guys, so it's really fun. Yes, you can actually enter this boat and all the amenities are inside, and some amenities are actually on top of the boat as well, because it has a huge rooftop and stuff. It's really fun. So you guys can probably see me speed through this like I know that what I was doing, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys here. This is actually my second attempt at building the steamboat. The first one I have recorded and I still have the footage of it. I'm not sure. I might take screenshots of it and post it on my Facebook page, but the first one was literally all over the place. I hated the proportions, like, and it looked a lot, like, it looked a little too heavy-handed and trying hard, so I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna test out another option, and this is what I came up with. I think the proportions are so much better. It's actually much larger than my first attempt, which you guys will see in just a second. It literally occupies the whole lot. Like, there's barely any space for me to put the fountains and stuff, but it's fine. It's really fun, and so yeah, the first recording that I did, I reached the point where I was decorating the ground floor interiors. Then that's basically when I just told myself, okay, this quality is not up to my standard. I should reconsider and experiment with some things. Anyway, you guys can see me here add some navy blue details. I don't know, that looks like a dark gray, but it kind of made me, it looked navy blue to me, so I added those because, I mean, steamboats are a thing in Louisiana, right? And I think Louisiana, given that it was a former French colony, I'm talking about the American state, Louisiana used to be a French colony, so I'm guessing I did use a lot of blue in this build to kind of pay respect to that history and stuff. So honestly, the really weird thing is that I spent so much time figuring out this canopy for the entranceway. It took me forever. You guys will see me experiment and stuff, but it took me such a long time to figure out what's gonna happen, what the freaking heck I want to do with my life, because these trims are such a pain in the butt to figure out, because I tried separating the room it's not working. I tried putting a fence to kind of give it like the line that it's looking for, and it's not working. It's really, really hard to explain, but for some reason, eventually I was able to make it work. Thank freaking goodness. And yeah, there's barely any land in this venue, so most of it is in the water. And also, yeah, because of that, there's very minimal landscaping, which is fine for me because usually I do a lot of landscaping and usually those tend to be very, very elaborate. So you guys can see that there's a lot of space at the back, but don't worry, that will be filled in later by some like oars, I think is what it's called. What are those things called? The rotating red things behind steamboats. I do not know what those are called, but those will be placed there, as well as some nice little details and stuff to make it look like a legit steamboat. So yeah. Anyway, looking for a wall pattern here to match with the blue floor tile that I used for the pond slash like river area. So yeah, I was thinking of making this like formerly an extension of the river, then it got closed off and stuff like that, but I don't know, it's all over the place. Anyway, I added these details which are actually incense holders, and yes, I know where they are and I know how I was gonna use them because it took me forever to figure it out in my first attempt. And I also used these fountains that came with, I believe, Spa Day. I might be wrong. No, actually, now that I look at it, it's from Perfect Patio, but these are the only round things that are red. So, yeah, taking advantage of the option to enlarge the items. Really, really nice effect as well. And of course, over here, the chimneys that are very iconic. I noticed steamboats would have really, really elaborate chimneys and stuff because I believe they were steam powered. I'm not sure actually. Oh yeah, the red things are propellers now that I remember it. But yeah, it's really fun. Plus, it looks really, really good from the neighborhood view. You would never think that it was a replica of a steamboat. You would actually think that it was an actual steamboat itself. But then again, this was a really fun venue for me to build. So yeah, the interiors, I did go for a more classy approach. I have a very, very, very grand staircase. The color schemes and stuff like that were mostly inspired by Titanic, which is literally the most iconic boat ever. And steamboats, the heyday of them, kind of coincide with when Titanic happened anyway. So yeah, there's no chance of this replicating the tragedy of the Titanic though. So thank freaking goodness this is not an actual moving boat. Otherwise it would be cray cray. But anyway, yes, there's a really grand staircase that leads throughout all the 3 levels of the venue, and I used some really beautiful rich wooden colors to kind of contrast with the whiteness that we have on the outside. And yeah, those are bathroom stalls. And then yeah, the wood planks that I used are actually a status symbol. I'm not sure if they're the same in the States where you have a lot of wood as resource, but in my country, the longer the wood plank, the more affluent you were, because it's very, very difficult to find a tree trunk that's actually spanning the whole sides of the room. And that's what happened here. So yeah, one really, really annoying thing is that I wasn't able to get the colors that I wanted for these counters. So you guys can see that the woods are actually slightly slightly redder in the counter areas that I used for the bar compared to the rest of the wood that I used throughout the building, because the color wheel is non-existent, which is fine, and because there's nothing we can do about it. But the thing is that the color coordination for each item is a mess. Like, each item would have the same color swatch and stuff. However, those color swatch would not necessarily mean that those are the same exact colors. So it's kind of a mess. It's all over the place. So anyway, my approach for designing this was definitely a more upscale type of nightclub, I guess. You know, I think the demographic that I was going for were more mature people, you know, like, I don't know, this is a place where you would go to celebrate special occasions or maybe just go on a date and enjoy the night out with your loved one. See, you guys can see me here struggling with the color options because none of them match my existing color options. And I think that's the reason why it took me forever to figure it out, because you guys will see me actually change the color scheme multiple times. So I went for this orange, then I'm just like, okay, this is not working out. I hate the orange look. I think it takes away the sophistication of the venue. So I changed the accent colors to blue instead. And when I changed that, I was like, okay, I need to change the wall color to blue as well. And that's pretty much the color scheme that I stuck with. Even, yeah. So that was fun. And also took me a lot of time. There's also like a huge open to below on the second floor where it's kind of like a viewing deck, you know. There's actually a stereo that's going to be placed on the ground floor. So the second floor kind of like is an extension of the dance floor and stuff like that, because there's no actual dance floor. This does function as a nightclub though, because I made sure that I incorporated all the different requirements for the venue and stuff like that. So originally I wanted to put these really, really elaborate, corbels, I believe, is spandrels and columns, but I was like, okay, this is too overwhelming. There's too much stuff going on. So I will remove these spandrels and columns on the staircase area, and I'll only keep them on the area that has like the open to below and stuff. So yeah. Another thing that I really struggled with is the lighting. I cannot wait to get some 2-story chandeliers for The Sims 4 that are not modern in style, because we do have some beautiful 2-story chandeliers, but those are very, very modern, and if I place them here, it would be really, really inappropriate, because design-wise, it would be very inconsistent. So I struggled a lot with the lighting. You guys will see me. So I used very little actual lights. Instead, I used show hidden objects to unlock these invisible lighting fixtures. Ambient lights, I believe, is what the game calls them. So yeah, it's not something that I usually do in my builds, because it's difficult to kind of, you guys know the option where you can click on the light and change the color, change the intensity of them. If you use ambient lighting, it works, but you cannot click on them because you can't see the light source. So yeah, I did throw in a bunch of chandeliers there. So if you guys want to change the lighting intensity and color, you can do that, and just spreading it out evenly here to kind of cover all the bases and make sure that no space isn't lit and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, adding in some curtains here, which once again are blue, because blue accents are a thing that I used here consistently. I tried to be consistent as well. I like the contrast between the blue and like the redness of the wood colors that I have. And also one kind of recurring theme that I have in this build is the jazz details. I really, really love that. There's a huge collection of paintings that are exclusively jazz themed, if that makes any sense. So I was able to incorporate a lot of those in the build. Some of them were a little bit iffy. Personally, those aren't my taste. My favorite jazz paintings are these two, actually, that I placed on the ground floor. This blue one and that one with a violin. There's some like vertical ones that are super, super thin, which I did incorporate on the second floor, but I didn't like them as much. And yeah, I did add a bunch of clutter. Tried to add in these plants and stuff, but eventually I did remove it. You guys will see me add a bunch of things and eventually take them out, because it's just, you know, it's an experiment for me, of course. I didn't get as far as this in my first attempt, so most of the interior I had to figure out on the spot, so it took me much longer to do the interior than it did to do the exterior. And we have a bunch of really interesting clutter items. Some of them, however, cannot be placed on the tables that I used, so I was really annoyed. I was like, okay, but it's fine. It's a really fun little detail. Once again, struggling with a color wheel and having a freaking hard time figuring out the colors, but I'm just like, you know what? Fine. The furnitures are not going to be 100% coordinated. They have some very, very little variations anyway, which I don't know. I hate thinking about it. I think it's very careless and, I don't know. It turns me off. It's leaving a bad taste in my mouth. But anyway, adding in a bunch of clutter once again to kind of complete the look. And these rugs that I used really, really do complete the look. I think it makes it look more classy. Plus these rugs kind of look a little bit antique as well. So that's that. Plus it kind of brings together all the different blue colors that we have, because the blue that we use all throughout is so inconsistent. Some blues are a little bit more towards the purple periwinkle side, and some blues are more towards the blue-green side, and I'm just like, okay, this is not what I want. This is so freaking all over the place. And yeah, adding in a bunch of more jazz paintings, which is quite fun. And then yeah, right now we're working on the toilets, and there's 3 bathroom stalls that actually have actual lights in them. Yay. And I didn't use those gender specific doors. As fun as those are, they just didn't match the style, plus I didn't see the points. So yes. Anyway, I placed the toilets on this side actually because the back of the steamboat doesn't have the ability to accommodate the windows because it has those propeller things. So yeah, I think it was a great spot to place them in. And then throwing in a couple of clutter items in the form of these towel racks, once again continuing on with the blue color scheme. And I did throw a painting over there, once again another one of those jazz paintings, which is quite fun, and adding in a couple more details. I actually struggled finding some clutter items that would be appropriate for the other parts, but eventually I settled for that perfume thing, just quite nice. And then yeah, I'm just chucking out all the different items that need to be placed. There's the stereo. So I do believe that there is enough space for the Sims to dance around and stuff like that. So yeah, the second floor pretty much has the same arrangement or composition as the counters on the ground floor. However, the second floor has coffee brewers. What do you call those? Coffee makers. And yeah, since I'm assuming that the second floor is a little bit more relaxed compared to the first floor where there's a lot of dancing, a lot of bar activity and stuff like that. The second floor is a little bit more relaxed. You can actually observe the people on the ground floor and stuff like that. It's really fun. So I did plop in some coffee brewers upstairs here on the second floor. And I also placed some other food items that I will be discussing later on. I do not know where my voice is today. I have such a crazy accent. I'm not sure. It's probably because I haven't recorded anything in a while. And yes, I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. This thing is supposed to be uploaded this Friday. But I wasn't able to get it up just because I told you guys that this is the second version of my recording. So it took me forever to figure it out and to be content. You guys just saw me place those jazz paintings again. And the horizontal ones, I'm really not sure. They look a little bit too modern for our venue, but I decided to keep them because the walls looked too bare. So it's better to have them than not have anything at all. And just adding a bit of asymmetry with the painting choices and stuff like that. So yeah. Finally, we are working on the topmost level. And this level that we're working on, the inside nothing too crazy is happening. There's just some seating area and stuff like that. However, the outside is really fun. It has like an alfresco area and stuff like that. Once again, struggling with the color schemes because none of them match. Like each sofa, if you set them to the same color option on the color wheel or like the color swatches, they still don't have the same color. And I'm just like, you know what? I did learn to live with it because I'm just like, you know, if I force myself to make things insanely uniform, I wouldn't finish. So it actually turned out really nicely in the end anyway, so whatever. Just had to overcome some personal obsessions, I guess. Hashtag OCD, you guys. You guys know by now that I have the worst case of OCD in the world. And yeah. Looking for some paintings, I kind of ran out. To be completely honest with you guys, I ran out of paintings. So, I believe there's only like 8 jazz paintings that are available. So I did reuse some of them. And yeah, this is probably one of my favorite locations in the whole entire lot. And it's kind of the alfresco dining area. If you guys don't know what alfresco means outside, or yeah. Anyway, it's a really fun place. I was able to incorporate the ice cream makers that came with Cool Kitchen stuff, which the thing is, I never use Cool Kitchen stuff, which is weird because I gave it a really good review in my overview, but I never seem to use it that much. So I'm excited to actually send my Sims out here on a date and on a hot summer's day, have them grab some ice cream and stuff like that. It's really fun. So there's a lot of options that you have. You can have drinks and food on the ground floor because there's the bar, and there's also a microwave. On the second floor, there's like a coffee place, and on the topmost level, the rooftop, we have the ice cream, which I think is an appropriate location for all those different amenities. So yeah, I did place these huge or enlarged vases, terracotta vases, you guys can see on either end of the counters, but eventually I will diminish the size because they actually, some of the plants actually like went through the wall that I had. So I was like, nope, this looks like an eyesore. Something needs to be done. And over here, I'm just figuring out the lighting. Looks beautiful at night, by the way. I didn't go too crazy with the lighting because that's one of the things that I actually don't dislike the most. Figuring out the lighting layout and stuff like that. I'm just like, okay, couldn't the building just light up by itself? But yeah, it takes a lot of thought to it to actually arrange the lighting properly and stuff like that, but whatever. And then over here, I actually changed the heights of these half walls, which by the way, I love half walls. I'm so glad they came for free in a patch that also came with what's that one world again? New Crust, I believe. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, that space that has the higher half wall is gonna have like the name of the venue, which you guys will see me place later on. But yeah, there's very minimal landscaping. Once again, try to keep in with the blue color scheme, but also I threw in a couple of whites and periwinkle colors just to kind of diffuse the colors and look nice. Nothing too crazy, but I did have a lot of fun with the shapes of these outdoor lamps. Kind of made them into a heart shape and stuff, which is quite cute. And for some reason, I'm getting a very romantic, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm getting a very romantic vibe with like the South for some strange reason. I don't know why, but you know, every time you think of Southern Belle, you think of romantic, really classy and stuff like that. So that's basically my demographic for this build. You know, you come here to check out all the Southern Belles and stuff like that. So there is a flagpole that is once again blue because, I mean, it's Louisiana. Hashtag former French colony. So yeah, I'm not actually sure what color the Louisiana flag is. So that might be something, but the last couple of details that we're going to be adding are some extra clutter items, these plants over here to kind of fill in the space, and of course that one nameplate, I guess, that I had to change the type of venue to a retail to actually find that, and I chose this really classy font. It's a cursive type of thing. It looks like a signature. It actually looks like something for a fashion store, but whatever. And of course I had to place these menu options as well, which really do complete the look of the venue. Let's see here, and then just throwing in some lights to put emphasis on all the different architectural details that we have all throughout this venue. And yeah, that is going to be it for the speed build part of this venue. I'm gonna go ahead and cut into the screenshot so you guys can see all 3 levels of this venue. Once again, please don't forget to hit that like, favorite, and subscribe button if you guys had fun. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up my commentary part of this video right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. You all have an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.